Thank you. Oh, it's so loud. Hello, everyone. I feel so comfortable here. So today I'm going to talk about the Firebase Cloud Functions, as you see, and hope you still have energy after the lunch. And to start off, I would like to tell you a story. You know, when I was a kid, I really liked to play with toys a lot, as may you all have. And I have a big box with toys, so all the time I started to play, I just drop everything around the house and make the mess. Yeah, really a bit messy, right? So each time after that, I had to clean up everything after myself, and because I know that my mom would be angry with me. Yeah, you know, no pain, no game. But starting at that time, I was already thinking about, dreaming about some magical tools, some fairies, some elves come to my house and do that work, like clean everything while we'll be sleeping. Why not? It's their work. But actually, it didn't happen. But what I found out now, actually, I found that the Firebase is the magical tool for me. It's kind of does that magic, and I'll explain you why. So, okay. Let's talk about how people usually making startups. Raise your hand who wants to make your own startup. I want to make my own startup. Yeah, a lot of ambitious people here. Cool. And how we often do it? We start with some idea. We start with some idea, which is things that brings us to the daydream, and we are just change the world with that idea, and it will make us rich. We'll get a lot of money, and of course, we'll be very happy with it, right? But let's go back to the reality. How often is doing it? So you have like a small team, dedicated team. You don't have money, usually, but you have a very powerful idea. So you can, two options, how you will proceed with it. The first one, you will just focus on engineering. And yeah, it's fun. It's very fun. You can think about building some rock-solid architecture and make it great. But alternatively, the other way is to focus on your user. You can think about how, because better you know your user, better your app is. And you can focus on your market fit, because actually you're doing your product for the user. So, yeah. And this is where the Firebase can come to your site and help with it. Because actually the Firebase is the integrated tool of products which helps you to develop and test your application, and also to grow and engage your user audience, to make some A/B testing experiments, and to help you with monetization. Oh my God, I know, it's so stacking. Yes, so you can consider it as a platform as a service. So what does it mean? So you don't care about the servers, you don't care about the database, you don't care about the scalability, durability, because everything is done somewhere in the cloud. And if you talk about how we usually build our client-server applications, so everything starts between like request and response. So usually the client makes the request to the server, hey, get me this user data, and web server make the request to the database, and database goes back to this web server with the response, and server responded back to the client. Yeah. So, sorry? It happens. So everyone is aware of this model. Yeah, usually we are doing this. I'm originally a .NET developer, so this is how often we build our applications. But what happened if there are many requests from many clients, so here we have like a bottleneck with the web server and the database. So you have to think how to scale your server, how to scale your database, how to make it durable. But still, you're a small team and you don't have money. So how you can manage it all? So here, from that side, Firebase real-time database took another approach. Instead of client talking to server and server to the database and back, the client can directly talk to the database, and database listen to these changes and synchronizing all the other connected clients. So the Firebase real-time database is really great for the synchronizing all the connected clients when you want to update all the user with their all connected devices. But what happened if you want, for example, to synchronize data from another database out of Firebase? Or you want to, for example, the new user has signed in to your application and you want to send him the welcome message, or you want to send him the push notification, or also you want to perform some heavy operations like image transcoding and image resizing, video transcoding, or even you want to expose your own HTTP endpoint. So Firebase is not ready for it, wasn't ready for it like last year, but they announced the Firebase Cloud Functions for Firebase, which actually solved this problem. This is still a new tool, it's beta version, but it already works and it works great. And how does it work? You can actually treat it as a computational glue, like you have the one point of control of all the Firebase products. You can say, we can say it's just the event-driven model. So what does it mean? You just have some snippet of code which is triggered on some event happen of one of Firebase products like databases, and this code will be executed once this event happened. So in other words, you can say it's kind of the Tooth Fairy. Everyone knows about Tooth Fairy. So we have our event trigger when the kid put the tooth under the pillow. And of course, our cloud function is a Tooth Fairy, which is waiting someone put the tooth under the pillow. And the magic is happening somehow, the abracadabra at night. And when the kid wake up in the morning, he found this tooth coin under the pillow. Is kind of the result of what happened. So how does it work? So more about the functions, and they run in the serverless environment, and you can treat it as microservices. Each function is isolated from each another, so if one fails, it doesn't mean that another fails. And the functions auto-scales up and load when you need them, when you have the huge loading, and if you don't use them, they just go down to 0. So you don't pay for them when you don't need it. And one important thing, for now it's only supported to write in JavaScript for Node.js environment. Yeah, a bit tricky. And what you can do if you're a mobile developer? Don't cry, I know, it's not so good. And I hope that the Firebase will probably soon, next year, will add another support of other languages. But actually, Node.js has a meaningful syntax and is a bit practice, and you can make it work. So, as I said, the Firebase functions, they are executing on some event happens. So there are a few triggers for functions for Firebase. First of them is Firebase Database of course, it's already added support of a new Firestore. Also, if a new user sign in, or any other user sign in, you want to execute some functions, so it's also some authentication event, or any other event, for example, some event sent to the Google Analytics, you want to trigger your function, or the new file put on the storage or removed from the storage, or even there is support of a cloud pops up. And of course, what is great, you can make your function accessible via HTTP, so you can expose your own endpoint. But what I can do with it? Like, there is a lot of option. What is the use cases? So actually, you even can find on the official Firebase website, there are a few very great use cases, how you can use it. For example, you have their online shop, and there is a Black Friday, you know, and you want to make discounts for your user, you make change of the prices in the database, and you want immediately to send them notification, like push notification. So the function will listen to the changes and just send each user the message on their app. Or you're building your project together with your team, and you want to know each time when your teammate make a push commit to the master, you want to be notified, so you can your function to be triggered on some GitHub webhook, and using the Slack API, you can send the messages in the channel. So this is how you can be aware that there is, wow, new commit on the master. So there are a lot of many other use cases, but let's see how to code it. So first of all, you have to use the Firebase Tools. Is a Firebase Sdk, which helps you to access all the Firebase products. And to start with the functions, you have to init them. So you run the command Firebase init functions. And after that, you will get the default structure with created the functions directory with packages on where all dependencies can be specified. And of course, the index.js is the source file of all your functions for Firebase. And let's start with a very trivial example, because of course, it's Hello World. So here I'm using my Firebase Functions Sdk, which is open source SDK. You actually can contribute or send them pull request. And here says that export.hello world. What does it mean? That here's I'm initializing my function. So as I said, that functions are written in Node.js environment. And each file in Node.js is kind of the separate model. And all the code in these models are private unless you export it. So everything that will be exported, like each function, it will be treated as a cloud function. So next, we are saying that we want our function to be accessible via HTTPS. And as we are using Node.js, it has support. It has a great framework for web serving, Express.js. So it gives you access to the powerful objects like response and requests, and you can send just here sending the static response back to client like hello world. And after that, all you need to make it work, just Firebase deploy, and in a few minutes, it will be instantly uploaded to the cloud server and ready to be run. So a bit more complicated example, just let's imagine that you have the message app, and you want to add the new feature, so each time when a user updates the message in the application, you want to change the last updated property of that message and to make it up to date. So here we say like we want to use the functions.database, so we want to listen all the changes, events made to the database and specifying the reference to the all messages in the database. And we're listening to all on-update events. So also you can also listen to on write, on create, and on delete, but here we're only interested when the user updates the message. And the huge object like event is passed to your function. You can get all the data that was changed in the database from that just using event.data. And what I do, I just getting the date time, updating that property, and saving to the Firebase using admin rights. And how it works. So I already told you a few words about how the Firebase functions are magical, how they can make your life easier and make some work, how it can be useful. But what is the price of these benefits? Firebase offers you 3 billing plans. So the first one is a Spark plan. It's free and it's free forever. It has some specific limitations of the invocation, gigabyte seconds, and CPU seconds. But the important thing here to remember is outbound networking. So the outbound networking is only Google services. So what does it mean outbound networking? So each time if you want to call some external API or you want to send messages to Slack using Slack API from your function, it is the external network and you have to pay for it additionally. And the another one is Flame plan, and it was with fixed price. You pay only $25 a month for all Firebase products, but it has some limitations also. And another one, the third Blaze plan, is the most flexible, and you pay as you go. And also the interesting thing to remember that Google Cloud Platform, it allows you to enable the free tier plan. It's like free trial. It gives you $300 for 12 months. So when you enable it, you can easily attach the Firebase project and you will get the Blaze plan for free. Also, the Blaze plan on the Firebase website, it has a calculator, so you can estimate the cost of your function, just moving the sliders to see how much you expect invocations per month, CPU seconds, gigabyte seconds. So actually, it's all interesting, but you maybe think I'm crazy, but I decided to calculate fully how it will cost my one function. So it's kind of a lot of calculations. If you want more details, you can grab me after the sessions, but basically, I took the invocation time of my function is 700 milliseconds. The RAM is 256 megabytes. It's given you by default. And invocations, I estimated it will be 10K invocations per month. So there is some computational formulas, some magic. And here's a table, a lot of numbers, I know, but you can just go to that bold number. You can see that my cost of my function will be 2 cents per month, like not a lot. But actually, one more thing, it's actually the actual price, but there is a free tier column, which I said that you can enable the Google Cloud Platform free plan. So it gives you a month, a lot of invocations, GB seconds, and the third column is the net value. It's the difference between gross value and free tier. So here's all negative values. It means that I didn't go over these limitations, so I will get this function for free. But this is kind of actual price without free tier. Okay, so I showed you little examples, but let me tell you my own drama, my own experiments on the functions and how I make it useful for me. So you probably know that website for the DevFest Istanbul, and actually it is built based on an open source project which is called Hoverboard. And it was built by my colleague from Google Developer Group in Lviv. in Ukraine. His name is Oleksiy Sadny. And I started to contribute to helping him to build this project more than 1 year ago. So we started to use the Firebase database for first version. And now we're also building the version 2, and we started to use the functions. So one example how it helped us to improve performance. So, you know, the website has a session, speakers, schedule. This is kind of how it looks in a database. And to get the fancy rendered schedule on the website, we have to aggregate all these objects together. So here is a lot of code. Piece of code is doing aggregation of 3 objects and a lot of loops, not so nice, you know. And the thing is a web worker, and this piece of code, it is executed all the time when the user refreshes the page on the schedule, because we want to aggregate all these objects from the database and map them together. So we were thinking, something went wrong here, it's not correct, so probably there is a functions, functions help us. So we decided to move all this code to the Firebase Functions. And here's the file, we moved this code, and we use it from functions. So basically, we will listen to all changes made from the console in the Firebase to the schedule, sessions, speakers, and just call these functions when we need, so it wouldn't be called like each time when user refreshes the page. It wouldn't be called like once, I don't know, a week when we are making the changes. And basically, this is how our result. We will generating the full objects, what we need for make our website render the schedule, and we'll save it to the database. So actually, it makes us a huge performance improvement, and this is great. So let's go to drama number 2. I have one more example. Actually, one beautiful day, me and my colleague Ostap, we were making changes. We didn't know about that, but we were making changes to the Firebase database simultaneously. Maybe range time 10 minutes. And how we usually do it, if there are a lot of changes, you just download the JSON file from the Firebase database, making the changes, and upload it back. And when you upload it back, you just rewrite all the changes that were made before. So we were not aware about each of other changes, and Ostap uploaded his changes first, then was mine changes, and I rewrote his data he has made. So he was a bit mad and like, wow, what happened? Where is my changes? What did you do? I said, oh my God, it seems to be me. So the really features that are really missed in the Firebase database history, right? Like, nobody knows who has changed the database, like from cons. Who has changed? What was changed? Nothing you know about that. So I decided, okay, let's try to have a solution with functions. So what I was thinking about, like each time when I'm making changes to the database, the function will be triggered and sending the messages with changes to the Slack channel and to notify all the user about all our organizers about what the change was made. And actually, yeah. So I set the Slack. So what does it mean in Slack? You remember I told you if you want to use free plan and it is Slack, it's external network, and you have to pay for it. But who wants to pay for it? I don't want to pay for it. I don't have money. Okay, I have money, but not so much. So basically my plan was a genius plan, like start free $300 trial on Google Cloud Platform. Then I will use the pops up, that will allow me to trigger the function in the Firebase, to trigger the function in the Google Cloud Platform. Then this Firebase function will publish the topic. Each time when the changes are made, it will publish the topic to the PubSub. Let's it called DB updated. From other side, the Cloud function will subscribe for the topic. And then the Cloud function, Google Cloud Platform, is send using Slack webhook to send messages in the channel. Yeah, a bit like architecture. So you're making changes, the database, in the database, the Firebase function listens to the change and publishing the data that was changed to the topic, to the PubSub. Then the function in Google Cloud Platform subscribed for that topic, and each time when new data is published, you're just sending the messages to Slack API. Wow. Wow, so great architecture. Architecture level 80. But, okay, so a bit of code, just to make it fast. For now, you can get from the event object who has made the changes, but you can for at least get if it was changes made by admins. It means that the changes were made in the console. And then we're creating the topic, getting our changes, and publishing the messages to the PubSub. So actually creating a topic, you just need to use the Google Cloud PubSub library. You get the PubSub client. Oh, it's so annoying. So we are creating our topic if it hasn't been created. And here's how it looks, the publishing messages from the function for Firebase. You got the publisher, you get the data that you want to publish, and just it's very trivial, but you have to, first of all, stringify your JSON object and then to encode it to string. And from other side, from the Google Cloud Platform, it's much trivial. You just say, okay, I want a function that will be listening to the topic named DB changes, and the code for function will be generated from scratch. All I just said is just posting to Slack. So while getting the object and using the Slack webhook, I just send it to the Slack. So I can show you a quick demo. Oh no. Okay, so no. Demo will be later. No, it's okay. It's okay. So, because I forgot about one thing. You know what? I fucked up. Yes, that's true. You know what? Because the Google Cloud function in the Firebase functions for Firebase, they're totally the same. The billing are the same. You can be confused with all these billing plans written on the Google Cloud Platform, the Firebase, but more time of investigation is totally the same. They run on the same server. The only difference that you use the Google Cloud SDK tools to deploy this function, and you use the Firebase SDK to publish the functions for Firebase. But they run the same environment. So what does it mean? I don't need a lot of this shitty code. I will just leave the same. If it's admin changes, I'll get my data and posting messages to Slack. And on this note, I can show you demo. Yeah. So it's a bit slow. It's actually the new design they want to add. If you have already seen the console of Firebase, so I'm the alpha user, so this is will how the new design will look. Actually, I don't like it much. So I want to, let's say, to make changes to my sessions object. Please work. Let's say I'm just making very trivial change. Okay, and let's go to the and we got the new message to the, I call the Firebase DB changes Slack, and this is how it works. You just go to that link, and you'll be immediately navigated to that changes on the Firebase database. So basically this is it, like a very short demo, but it's very useful for us. It's very useful, like for building our project. Can you go back? I'm doing something. So, drama number 3. I hope you're not tired of my dramas, but it's the last one, I promise. And so, I was a bit experimenting with our hoverboard project. And as I said, we still use the free plan. And what I was thinking about, it's really nice to have the backups of your database, but if you want to have the backup, you have to pay for it. So I decided, okay, we have like 5 gigabytes of Google Cloud storage for free. And why not just to store backups on the Google Cloud storage? Because our database is quite small, it's only 70 kilobytes. And what I was thought about, so each time when you are making changes to the database, like some changes you really want to have, and you can also trigger your function to save the copy of your database in the Google Cloud storage. But of course, I was thinking about the file rotation because it's not good to store a lot of files. So let's say I wanted to store like just 10 files, and each time when it will be, let's say, the 11th file, I will just get the oldest one and remove it. So basically it's it. So a bit of code. So of course we have to use our Firebase Functions Sdk. I use FS library to access the local files, Google Cloud Storage library. So here I'm listening to all changes to the database on write. I'm setting the maximum backups count I want to have to store. And a good thing to know that the Firebase, like Google Cloud Platform, allows you to get access to the temporary folder. So it's kind of temporary folder on a local file system on the cloud. And you can store some of your files, temporary files there. But the important thing is to remember that all the memory that will be allocated to the temporary folder will be counted together to your memory allocated for your function. So you have to pay more. So be careful here. And we are using the bucket. If you're on the free plan, you have just one default bucket. And we are getting all the files which are all the backup folder. If there are like more that we expected, we are just getting the oldest one, remove it. And the last one, you have a new free spot for new backup. You upload it from the temporary folder to the Google Cloud Storage and adding to the naming the timestamp. And that's it. This kind of very trivial. And you may think, okay, this is not the best architecture. Think of making backups. It's just I wanted to show how you can make it work, how you can use Firebase functions for your own use cases, during your application building, how to make it help, how to make your life easier if you're doing something on Firebase. And to sum up, I wanted to say moreover, about backups, also is a great idea, maybe even better. You can also run for free the cron on Google Cloud. It's making the scheduled jobs, so you can run the cron, which will make automatically once a week the backup for you and store it on Google Cloud Storage if you want to have the free plan. And to sum up, so as I said, just try Google Cloud Functions. If you have some work which can be done in parallel, simultaneously, just use it. Just let it help you delegate your work responsibilities to it. And of course, remember that your functions has to be optimized because the time of execution, it also matters. And first of all, try this Google Cloud Platform free tier, which gives you $300 for 12 months, as I said. It allows you also to attach the Firebase project to it, so we'll have the Blaze plan for some amount of time, and it depends on your resources you spend on your application. If it's not so big, so you will have it for free for a long time. And at least enjoy this magic, because I think it's cool, and just use it. Thank you. If you have any questions, please ask. No? Nobody wants to ask something? Okay. Who has already tried Firebase Functions? Keep your hands up. Okay. What else ask you? You tried Firebase Functions. Can I try 2 books? Okay. So, can you give 1 more book? Okay. So, for those who already tried Firebase Functions, you'll give the small present, the books. Yes. Yes. You want a question? You want a book? Thank you, everyone, for attention, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.